Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome everybody to our November Chamber Luncheon. Happy Election Day to everyone here. I hope everybody's had a chance to get out and vote. If you haven't, we've still got about 6 hours to do so. First and foremost, before we start our event, I'd love to ask Assistant Pastor of Member Care at First Baptist Church of Somerset, Bill Fort, to please come forward and bless today's meal.
Would you pray with me? Father, today particularly, we count it all joy to be living in a country like this, because we understand that we have the ability to choose our own leaders, and most people in the world don't have that privilege. And when we live with something for the entirety of our lives, it's awfully easy to take it for granted. But today we don't take that for granted. And we thank you for that option. We thank you for that privilege. And God, we pray that we would embrace it in every way. Thank you for everyone who's gathered in this room. They are leaders, and I appreciate the fact that they lead in our community. And I pray that you would use them well, that they would feel inspired by you. And we thank you also for community. There are so many people in so many places who feel disenfranchised for whatever reason. But I'm grateful for Somerset and Pulaski County, who work hard to bring people together and to make them feel a part of a community. And God, today we also appreciate the fact that we have life, because we know that we only have one 24-hour promise. So our prayer is that we're going to live today for all it's worth, and we consider it a gift and know that every good and perfect gift is from above. And of course, today we thank you for the food and all that you provide us, and it's in your name that we pray. Amen.
Thank you very much. We have two for Tuesdays today. First up, I'd like to ask Dan Brown to please come up. Dan's one of our ambassadors as well. Give him a little shout out. Dan's going to talk a little bit about Brown Insurance Agency.
Good afternoon. Delighted to be here. Dan Brown. I'm a state licensed life and health officer or agent, and I'm here to talk about Medicare for just a few minutes. It's that time of year, and most of you have already now tuned me out. So let me encourage you by saying 1 out of 5 people in our county need our services, and so we try to get in front of as many people as we can. I'm delighted today to have some special guests with me as well. I've got Brittany Wainscott down here, our regional manager with Bedrock Group, which I'm affiliated. I've got James Adams. He's one of our new agents. You know him from Don Franklin Chevrolet. He's now with the Walker crowd, all right? And then I've also got Mark Reeder here from United Health, and we're delighted to have him. 65 years of age, you may be there or approaching there or have a loved one that is there, but they need some assistance, because once you turn 65 and get into this world, you have Medicare, but that pays for 80%. So you basically have two options. You can pay for extra insurance, a supplement, or you can do what they call an advantage plan. I'm not going to get into it, but I will tell you right now, 65 million people, that's over 20% of the population, are in Medicare, and of the 65 million, 30 million are on advantage plans. Don't know what you've heard, don't know what you believe, but what we want to do is we want to educate and step into your loved one's life and help them understand what they do have and what they are eligible to have. They don't come to us, we go to them. And right now, between October the 15th and December 7th, we're able to do just about anything that is in their benefit. We represent Aetna, we have Anthem, we have Humana, we have WellCare, and we have United Health. And so we go in, we're not partial to any one particular carrier, we're partial to what's best for your loved one. We would love to help you as you help them, or if you're in that age group right now, we'd love to help you by sitting down with you at your convenience. We do an in-home assessment. We help you understand what your options are. We check doctors, drugs. We do a very thorough job. And then when we leave, we make sure that we enroll you in the best plan for you for this coming year. And then we do one more thing that a lot of times you will hear people say, we stay connected to them. I get calls every day from clients saying, what about, what about? And so we do our best as well. Don't have time to go into it, but we would love to be a service. If you're part of the medical community, I'm in homes every day, and they're saying, do you know of a good dentist? Who do you recommend for a doctor? I need this and that. If you want us to be a referral, see me or see one of us afterwards, and we'd love to have that conversation with you as well. Again, thank you for your time. Dan Brown from the Brown Agency. Let us be of help to you if we can.
Thank you, Dan. Our second two for Tuesday today is Kyle Varney here. Kyle's going to come. I see Kyle. There he is. Kyle's going to come up, and he's going to talk to us about one of our newest restaurants here in town, the Cumberland Grill.
Hello, everybody. So we are, well, my name is Kyle Varney. I'm here representing Cumberland Grill. We just wanted to reach out, say that we are open for business now, formerly Guthrie's. Same staff, same menu. We're in the process of doing some remodeling. We got some new changes coming up that I don't want to go into a whole lot of detail about, but we've got different avenues of catering. We're going to have a salad bar coming up soon. We're getting ready to change our hours of operation to be open for lunch throughout the week as well, which if you haven't seen our lunch menu yet, we do have it available on Fridays and Saturdays currently. So come out, check us out. If I can be of any service to you guys, feel free to reach out, call me. Our manager at the store is Tim Hall, and he can also help you guys with anything you need. Thank you.
Thanks, Kyle. You'll be happy to know the Chamber, we're doing our Christmas party there this year, the Cumberland Grill, so we're pretty excited about that. Come out. Mike, there we go. Pretty excited about that one. We have got a ton of upcoming events, and I just want to kind of do a brief summary of some of the things that we have coming up. We're officially in our busy season right now at the Chamber, so I want to go through a few of those. Shirlene Taylor wanted me to mention the Lake Cumberland Workforce calendars are here today, so if you like the planners, if you like a good hard copy planner, I know I do, those are up. Shirlene, are they up front? I'm assuming they are. Just grab one of those. There they are. There's Shirlene right over there. She's got thousands of those, I'm sure, and she'll be happy to give you as many as you need. So take advantage of that. A couple of upcoming events. First of all, on Tuesday, November 19th, you'll probably see the flyers on the tables. We're going to be doing an active shooter training over at Southwestern High School in the auditorium. That's going to be from 5:30 to 7:30. You don't have to be a Chamber member to attend this. Somerset Police Department is going to be doing the training. We do one of these every few years. We think it's important. If you or a friend or a group of friends or anybody you know, for that matter, would like to attend this active shooter training, please feel free. There's no need to RSVP. 5:30 to 7:30, Southwestern High School, the auditorium on Tuesday, November 19th. If you have any questions or you'd like some more information, just call the office. We'll be happy to give that to you. And then I just want to put in a few plugs for our December run. We've got all the things that are Christmas. They're getting ready to start happening. We've got on Tuesday, December 3rd, so that's our next luncheon. So a month from today, essentially, we're going to be hosting our 15th annual Chamber Holiday Auction. I know a lot of you have been to one of those before. I know a lot of you all have participated. I saw Matt Ford. Matt's a big part of this because our holiday auction has evolved over the years. It's not just an in-person holiday auction. We also have a huge online component through Ford Brothers where you can go on and you can bid on things there as well, leading up to the auction and even a few days after. So on December 3rd, come out. It's for a great cause. We've raised over $225,000, and we've been able to provide 114 college scholarships for local high school students who want to attend Somerset Community College. It's 114 college scholarships. I get the letters from these young men and women. I'm pretty sure that Cindy makes them write the letters, but I will tell you something. What I get to see is this. A lot of these kids, they're first-generation college students. They're the first person in their families to ever go to college. It's incredibly rewarding. Every dollar we make from our holiday auction, we turn over to the community college. We've started a trust there, and it's a wonderful initiative. I love our holiday auction. I would encourage everybody to come out next month for that. Purchase something. Please know your money's going to a very good cause. 2 days after that, on Thursday, December the 5th, we're going to be officially kicking off the Christmas season. We're going to be doing our tree lighting in downtown Somerset. We will light the tree. Mayor Keck and our judge executive, Marshall Todd, will both be there. Santa is going to be there, so you can bring the kids out as well. We'll do a Santa jam afterwards. He'll be singing some Christmas songs, and we're going to officially light our community Christmas tree. So that's going to be at 6:30 on December the 5th. And then 2 days later, we have the community Christmas parade. So that's going to be on Saturday, December the 7th. You should have maybe some flyers on your table. If not, you can find all this information on our website, somersetpulaskichamber.com. The Christmas parade is a big undertaking. I would love for everybody to just help us spread the word. If you have a group that wants to participate, they can register by going to the Chamber's website. If you just want to come out and watch the parade, the parade route map is on our website. You can go find out the best place to watch the parade and get the most candy. There's lots of different things you can do, but we've got lots and lots of holiday traditions that we're getting ready to start into, and hopefully we'll get our community to help us out with some of those. The last thing I want to do is I want to recognize our information tables that are here today. Crystal told me this might be the first time in 13 years that this has happened. Every info table actually showed up. They're all here. It's 100%. I'm going to buy a lottery ticket. It's amazing. I want to recognize all you all, and I want to thank you all for being here. Get to know some of these businesses and organizations. I would encourage everybody in here, find one information table that you've never heard of them before and go say hi on your way out the door. And just get to know more about them and what they're doing. These are great businesses and organizations. This is a free opportunity that we provide for our members. So if anybody would ever like to take advantage of this, they just call our office and we set this up first come, first serve. I want to recognize all of them today. Lake Cumberland Regional Hospital, the League of Women Voters, Somerset High School JAG. Thanks, and thank you all for helping us with everything today, guys. Appreciate you all. The Living Bread Soup Kitchen, Expressions Tea and Gifts, the Cumberland Workforce Development, Campbellsville University, Med Advantage Health Advisors, Bosch Berries. I'm going to stop real quick on that one. Everybody stare at Amanda over here. So she's handing out free strawberries. So I am absolutely shocked that there are still strawberries in front of her. If there are when she leaves, you've made a mistake. Okay, so I'm sure that you guys will go over there and sample some of the Bosch Berry product. It is fantastic. 5-star land title, ASR Massage, WTLO Fork Broadcasting, the Virginia Theater, CASA of Southern Kentucky, Lindsey Wilson College, Jumptastics, the Center for Rural Development, Lifeline, Home Care, SPEDA Community Foundation, and finally I see Marvin in the corner back there, my 2024 leadership class, Leadership Lake Cumberland. Look at it, there's Dr. Brooke. I see all you all back there. Hey, Angela, thank you all. You guys are talking about your upcoming cook-off that's this Saturday, right? It's going to be at First and Farmers National Bank. Sunday. It's Sunday. It's going to be on Sunday. So come out this Sunday and come support my leadership class. There's going to be lots of good food to eat, and apparently there's some betting, there's some wagering on what kind of food's going to win, but it should be a lot of fun, and that's on Sunday from noon to 3. Is that right? Sunday. There you go. All right. I'm out of oxygen. I'm done up here. I'm going to turn this over to my boss, the president of the chamber this year, Miss Lisa Phelps.
is my pleasure to call our November Chamber Luncheon meeting to order. I'd like to welcome our guests, our public officials, and our members. I'd like to recognize our public officials that are in attendance today. County Judge Executive Marshall Todd, Mayor of Somerset, Alan Keck, Burnside and Eubank City Attorney, Molly Hardy, Judge B.J. Hardy, Magistrate Mark Ranshaw, Judge Jane Venners and Judge Daniel Venners, State Representative Shane Baker, and then I know we have some soil and conservation officers here as well today. Have I missed anyone? If not, we do thank you for supporting our business community. I'd also like to recognize our sponsors. They are listed on the wall behind me as well as on each table. We want to thank our world-class sponsors, our Chairman Circle sponsors, and our Ambassador Circle sponsor for their generous financial support. We would like to recognize new Ambassador Circle sponsors Rural, First Lending, and Farm Credit Mid-America. So thank you for joining our sponsorship circles. We want to thank Laura Glover and Lonnie Lawson, the Center for Rural Development, for this wonderful venue. We want to thank Sandy and Sassy Spoon Catering for the delicious meal. Coca-Cola Bottling Company of Somerset and Pepsi-Cola Bottling of Somerset for supplying our drinks today. Next, I would like to invite First Vice President Laura Glover to introduce our new members.
Thank you so much, Lisa. I really do want to introduce our new chamber members. This is what makes our chambers so amazing. So join me in this. First, Cumberland Grill, Kyle Varney. Cumberland Roots Coffee, Mackenzie Robinson and Brooke Gross. Dave's Drone Photography, David Brew Baker. First Presbyterian Church, Reverend David Holden. L1 Enterprises, Mark Long. Nagomi Acupuncture and Wellness, Nancy Clevenger. And Nancy, I think I might need that service, so I might be calling you. New York Life, Patrick Allen Stevens. Southeastern Outdoor Power Equipment, Aaron Roberts. Vinyl Revival Records, Justin Wilson. So a few of the businesses that couldn't be here today, I do want to acknowledge them as well. They are new members. Angelita's Bookkeeping, CHC Home Inspections, Lake Cumberland Billiards, Paradise Teas, Sweet Things Bakery, Grilled Cheese Girls. And I think on this note, I just want to say, if you know of any business that might want to join the chamber, call the chamber, call one of us. We would love to have one of your friends or another business that you think would appreciate this join. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy voting day.
Next, I'd like to recognize our ambassadors. They provide an anchor of support to making our small staff successful at the chamber. If you're an ambassador, would you please stand to be recognized? Okay. Our ambassador that stood out this month is Miss Caitlin Baker from the Job Shop. If Caitlin will come forward. We would especially like to thank our corporate sponsors today, Lake Cumberland Regional Hospital and Pulaski County Farm Bureau. Pulaski County Farm Bureau has deferred their time to the speaker, but at this time I would like to invite Carolyn Sparks, CEO of the hospital, to the podium to share a few words.
Good afternoon. I'm Carolyn Sparks, CEO at Lake Cumberland Regional Hospital, and it is a pleasure to be here today. At Lake Cumberland, we are deeply committed to providing our community compassionate, high-quality health care, and our diagnostic imaging services are a central part of that mission. Our imaging team combines the latest technology with caring, patient-focused approach. The Imaging Center is fully accredited by the American College of Radiology and mammograms and MRIs. This underscores our commitment to excellence in both patient care and customer service. We're particularly proud of our latest addition in breast cancer detection, a state-of-the-art 3D mammography system. This is designed with one primary goal, which is to ease patient anxiety from the moment that they enter the room. The exceptional technology provides not only superior diagnostic accuracy, but also a more comfortable, relaxing experience. Our patients receiving breast cancer screening, every mammography is read by a board-certified radiologist with advanced training in breast imaging. Additionally, I'm very pleased today to welcome Dr. Laura Ziegler, who's our newest general surgeon, and I'll have her just wave there. She joined us in October and is certified in breast health and very passionate about our women's health. We're fortunate to have her, and I know you will all join me in welcoming her to our community. Breast cancer is a health risk that impacts many in our community, with 1 in 8 women likely to face this diagnosis in their lifetime. However, early detection makes a significant difference, often leading to more effective treatment and better outcomes. That's why we want to emphasize the importance of regular screenings, especially for those at higher risk. We'd like to share a special video with you today featuring a recent breast cancer survivor who will speak about her journey and the care she received at our imaging center. Thank you for your support as we work together to raise awareness for early detection and importance of preventative screenings.
My name is Deborah Carrier. I had been having problems. I just started getting really tired. They found my cancer because of the screening. I was so lucky and so blessed to have been able to come to Lake Cumberland Imaging. They navigated me through this whole process, from Jessica telling me the things that I needed to do, the places I needed to go, and telling me what procedures really were when I didn't have any idea what they were doing to me. The screenings are what will save your life. And don't neglect going and getting those mammograms done, because it can happen to you. I was healthy, maybe you're healthy, so make sure that you do your mammograms. I am truly grateful for Lake Cumberland Imaging because they saved my life.
Thank you, Carolyn. Now I would like to introduce our guest speaker, Agriculture Commissioner Jonathan Shell. Jonathan Shell was elected Kentucky Agriculture Commissioner November the 7th of 2023. A fifth-generation farmer, he, alongside his dad, owns and operates Shell Farms and greenhouses in Garrard County, where they raise cattle and grow flowers, corn, and pumpkins. Commissioner Shell believes agriculture can be summed up in 3 words: food, faith, and family. As Agriculture Commissioner, he will fight for Kentucky farm families, Kentucky values, bringing what he has learned on the farm to his role. Prior to being elected Ag Commissioner, Shell was elected to the Kentucky House of Representatives in 2012, becoming the youngest member of the General Assembly. Shell is a graduate of Garrard County High School and earned a bachelor's degree in agriculture business from Eastern Kentucky University. He and his wife Brooke live in Lancaster with their 4 children. The Shells attend church at Pilot Nov Missionary Baptist Church, where Jonathan serves as a Sunday school director. Please help me in welcoming Agriculture Commissioner Jonathan Shell.
Thank you so much. It's great to be in Pulaski County and really appreciate the opportunity to be here on what I think now is considered to be your Ag Day for your Chamber of Commerce meetings that you all have. I do want to confess something. I've been struggling here the last couple of days, and so I would like a little interaction from you all to help me figure out what I need to do. My wife thinks Christmas starts November 1st. Okay, that's what I was curious of. So can we get a raise of hands, those that thinks it starts November 1st real quick? Okay, and then how many of you thinks it starts December 1st or the day after Thanksgiving? Okay, so you're no help at all. It's about half and half. For the last, 15 years or so, I have put up my Christmas decorations on Election Day. And those of you all that are elected officials in this room, you will know that the nervous energy that you have on Election Day, Chris, is unbearable most of the time. You can't do anything else. All the work's been done. You've asked for all the votes. Election Day comes, and you just got to pray to the Lord that it goes your way. And so on Election Day, I normally will put up my Christmas lights so that I don't have to be around nobody and talk to nobody. But thankfully, the best man at my wedding, TJ Atkins, asked me to come speak to you all today, so I have to be around people now. So it's good to be with you all, though. I really do enjoy being in Pulaski County. I tell people that for me, Pulaski County is a special place because I have so many friends that are here. It feels like a second home to me whenever I get to come to Somerset and Pulaski County. And a couple of the reasons why is, like I said, TJ Atkins, your all's county extension agent, was the best man at my wedding. We went to EKU together, and I promise you he will not tell you any stories because I've got them on him too, so don't even ask him. Don't even ask. The second reason is that Rodney Dick was on my transition team, and Rodney's been a great friend of mine for a long time. And the third reason is that I try to kill your mayor once a year doing the Murph. If you don't know what the Murph is, Travis Burton, me, and the mayor, we do this workout challenge once a year. We've been doing it for the last 4 years. So for the last 4 years, I've tried to kill your mayor at least once a year, and I've been unsuccessful at this point, although I did injure him pretty good 2 years ago. I think that his wife said that he couldn't walk for about 3 weeks. So you all have got a good mayor, but he's not a tough mayor. I guess that's what I ought to tell you. But it's good to be with you all, and I'm so thankful that you didn't let him introduce me today, Bobby, because he was running and ready for bear for it also. I'll just tell you, he was ready to get me. So luckily I've got the microphone before he does. But I love Pulaski County, and I love the way that you all vote. I love your values. I love your community. I love the economic engine that you all are for this region of the state. And I love what you all mean to Kentucky agriculture and your agriculture community as a whole here in Pulaski County. Me, I'm just a farm kid from Garrard County that's been given the opportunity of a lifetime to be your commissioner of agriculture. And I've like she said, I've born and raised on the farm 5 generations, and we have flower greenhouses that we raise hanging baskets and bedding plants. We've got cattle that we raise, background heifers that we raise up and sell off. And then got in the biggest racket of my life a couple years ago in the pumpkin business. And now that we're just finished with pumpkin season, I'd like to share some knowledge with you all about pumpkins. I have figured out very clearly that women like pumpkins like they like their men. The uglier, the better. The scratched up, warty, nasty looking pumpkins are the ones that go for first. So Chris Girdler, there's hope for all of you. There is hope for all of you. If you do not have a significant other in your life, there is somebody for everyone. I have figured that out. And Dad and I, we talk all the time that some of the stuff that we think is going to be the best sellers on the farm, we can't get rid of. And then some of the things that we think are the ugliest thing that we grow goes first. And so you can't never predict the way that somebody's going to buy. So I just tell you that because there's nothing special about me. I'm not going to be the most talented, most brilliant, smartest person that you're going to talk to. But I do work hard on your all's behalf every single day to try and put Kentucky agriculture and rural Kentucky at the forefront of everyone's minds across this state and across the nation. And I would like to say a special thank you to the sponsors today, the presenting sponsors with Pulaski County Farm Bureau. I don't have a better partner in Kentucky agriculture than Farm Bureau. State Farm Bureau and all the farm bureaus across the state of Kentucky and the local communities, their value systems, the way they do business, what they mean to a community is really second to none. And for those of you that don't know how it works, you know, the insurance is just a portion of a member benefit for being a part of Farm Bureau. It's not their main focus, although it is the focus that everyone sees. Their main focus is on being that voice for Kentucky agriculture, the federation side, being that partner to help rural Kentucky and Kentucky agriculture move forward in the best possible light. And you all have got an amazing board here in Pulaski County of some of the best movers and shakers in Kentucky agriculture. And you also have the most previous president of Kentucky Farm Bureau, Mr. Mark Haney. And so, Mark, thank you for your service that you gave to Kentucky agriculture for so many years. We are desperate in Kentucky to grow agriculture every single day because we are growing as a population worldwide at an extent that we have to keep up with that demand, and I can't do it without partners like Farm Bureau. The second thing is I'd like to say thank you to the Lake Cumberland Regional Hospital. Bobby, I don't think really knew this or planned on it happening, but it was the best two sponsors that you could get for me to speak today because we are working on a Food is Medicine campaign across the state of Kentucky where we are very vigilant in talking about this in the right way. And I'll talk a little bit more about this later, but Travis Burton's here with me also today. He's with the Kentucky Hospital Association. And so it's really good. It just so happens that agriculture and hospitals being the sponsors today, and we'll talk about that whenever we get into some of the initiatives that we're working on. But I also want to say a special recognition for your all's state leadership that you have here. Shane Baker, your state representative for Pulaski County. There's not many people who are as good a solid a conservative in Kentucky as what Shane Baker is. Shane does an amazing job for you all, and the rest of your team does as well. Your Senator Girdler and others do an amazing job for you all in Frankfort. The thing I love the most about your all's delegation of representatives is that when I need something here, I just have to call. Whenever you all need something, they just have to call me. There's no barrier between this. We have relationships. We're friends. We know each other. And so when the time comes that Pulaski County needs something, your all state representatives and senator are able to get a hold of your state delegation as easily as anybody in the state of Kentucky. A lot of times, local communities look at when we do redistricting and you get multiples in the county, you know, a lot of times they look at that as a negative thing. Oh, well, we have 6 of them. How would we ever get anything done? I look at it that you are fortunate to have as many as you do. Places like here in Laurel County to have that many representatives representing your communities of the solid men and women that are in the legislature, it really is a benefit for you all. And so I just really appreciate the pouredness and the progressive thinking that you all have in sending the right people to Frankfort to represent you all, to work with me alongside me to help make a difference in the state. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention anything about the election today. I voted Thursday. I can't wait to vote. I don't look at Election Day anymore as being the only day to vote. I look at it as being the last day to vote. And so my granddad, whenever I was growing up, he said, you vote the very first chance that you can possibly get. And so that's what I've always tried to do. And so I went on Thursday and voted, and I waited in line for 30 minutes on Thursday in Garrard County. I think we're going to have a huge turnout today. I don't know what that means nationally, don't know what it means for the politics of it, but I think that people are expressing their right to vote this year at an unprecedented level that they've never seen before. I don't know what this means, but I had a buddy of mine tell me that Pennsylvania, there's a county in Pennsylvania around Philadelphia that voted 70% already as of noon today. And so I think we're going to see a huge turnout across the country. I hope that means good things for the people I voted for. We'll see what happens on election night. But hopefully we have the results in. We know exactly who's going to be president and senator and everything tonight. That's the thing that disappoints me the most about our politics anymore is that, I can remember growing up, we never had to wait to find out who was going to be your elected official. It didn't take a week, 3 days, 3 weeks. It took that night to know who it was, and we need to get back to that in this country. And I can't thank the local county clerks across the state of Kentucky for the diligent work that they do every single day, ensuring that our elections are safe and fair here in this state. And I can't speak for the rest of the states in the country, but I know under the leadership of these local county clerks, mine's Kevin Montgomery in Garrard County, and there's not a more honest man that's running a fair election in the world than what Kevin does. And I'd say you all would say the same thing about your local county clerks and all of them across the state. I've got the privilege to be able to speak to their county association several times, or their state association, because we do the Ag Tag program. The Ag Tag program is where we do, if you have a farm tag and you purchase that farm tag, you have the option to donate $10 to go towards a third of it to FFA, a third of it to 4-H, and a third of it to Kentucky Proud. And we get to go around the state taking pictures of that. And we actually raised a record amount of money for our youth in the state of Kentucky this past year. We increased it year over year, the largest amount, by $195,000 from the previous year, to where that you raised $930,000 for those youth organizations this past year. And so I can't thank you enough, the farmers in the room that have those ag tags, that purchased those, that added that extra $10 on there. What I tell people is that $10 ain't going to change your life. You go to the gas station and spend that, I'm sure, every day just the same way as I do. If you got kids like I do, you ain't getting out of the gas station without a $40 bill, I'll just tell you. I got 4 kids, and each one of them like spending $10 when we go to the gas station. Anybody ever buy bug juice? Stuff's expensive. You would think bug juice would be free, but it's not. But I say that in saying it'll change these kids' lives. $10 ain't much to us most of the time, but it'll change one of these kids' lives about donating that. So I encourage you, as March comes around and you renew your ag tags, make sure that you're donating that $10. But I'm optimistic about this election cycle. I'm optimistic about this election. I think for me and my party, in looking at the sanity for our country coming back, I think that we're going to have a huge turnout today, and I think the election is going to go the way that I want it to. But we'll see nationally how it goes. I'm very excited to be able to get it over with, though. How many of you all get these political text messages? Y'all remember Oregon Trail? You just died from dysentery. I feel like that you just died from text messages. Political text messages will be the next thing. It just, I can't get over. I mean, Donald Trump texts me twice a day. I don't know if you all know that or not. Elon Musk has texted me already 3 times today. And I get an email from Mitch McConnell or Rand Paul or somebody every other day. I'm their best friend. I don't know if you all are or not. You all may not be getting the same kind of communication that I do from our world leaders, but I am very updated and know exactly the amount of money that they need for me to double their profitability on their campaigns. So if you're not there yet, just tell me and I'll make sure that you get to do the exact same thing that I do. I can sign you up real quick. If you do want to pull a prank on somebody, this is what I would suggest you do. Name, address, phone number. Make a donation in their name. And boy, you talk about making them mad. They'll get these text messages forever. But if you're looking for a prank to throw somebody's way, that'd be the one that I would do. The Kentucky Department of Agriculture is a large agency in the state of Kentucky. It's only second to the governor's office as far as the amount of people and programs that we work through. We do a lot of stuff that, seems silly a lot of times to whenever you talk about it. Like we do the inspections on bounce houses. Anybody know that? We do inspections on bounce houses. All the amusement rides in the state of Kentucky that's at your county fair, Kentucky Kingdom, all that, we ensure the safety of those. We also do the inspections on grain bins. We have a state apiarist who takes care of the bees in the state of Kentucky. And then we also do the gas pumps. And one of the new initiatives that we put in place as we came in this past year was I felt like that was pretty good real estate. And I know it is because before I came into office, about half this room looking across here would text me and say, are you going to put your name on this or are you going to put your ugly face? One of the two. And so, that gas pump sticker that we put on there is a pretty good billboard and it's a pretty good advertising space. So what we decided to do is to take that and utilize that for the positive benefit of putting an awareness campaign together not to leave pets or children in hot vehicles. And we started that campaign this year. So if you go to your gas pump and you pump it, look on there and you'll see that that's brand new. And I told my staff that if it saves one life, it was worth it. And that's hopefully what we're working towards is just bringing awareness to that issue. We have several people who die every year from that. We have a lot of pets injured, and so we just wanted to put an extra awareness to that. We've got a lot of other great programs at the Department of Agriculture. Has anybody ever heard of Kentucky Proud? It's a little program we have. Kentucky Proud's it's the best branding of any state in the nation. There's no other state that has the kind of branding power that we do in the state of Kentucky. Internationally, our brand is known. When you think about the three things that people think about Kentucky, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Kentucky Bourbon, and Kentucky Derby, we have extreme saturation and branding and name ID across the world because those three things are known whether you're making 50 cents a day working in a factory in India or whether you're a rich person that's in Saudi Arabia. You know those three things about Kentucky. It's unbelievable the branding power that we have here in this state, and we're trying to capitalize on that every single day to add as much value to these programs as possible so that it's not something that you get to be a part of, but something you have to be a part of. We want the value to be so great that people feel like they have to be a part of these programs. But outside of the normal duties that we have every single day at the Department of Agriculture, since I became commissioner, we've really tried to focus in on one main theme, and that is agriculture is economic development. And I can't thank Chris Girdler enough for the guidance that he's given me over the last 11 months. I'm not an economic development professional. I'm a farmer by trade, went to the state legislature. I know the importance of economic development in our rural communities, but understanding the lingo, they speak a different language at times. I would say that if you're in the hospital, you speak a different language than I do a lot of times. And so understanding the vernacular and the language that these different groups use so that we can be the most effective that we can possibly be. And whenever I first came into office, I had a group of local economic development professionals come in, and so that we could have a group discussion about what it should look like to really increase rural development across the state. And I really appreciate Chris for helping lead that. I ran every name by him, and he said, yep, all 10 of these are the right people that you need in the room. And I really appreciate your guidance on that, Chris. And it's really, I think, set us up for success this past 11 months. So what we work on around agriculture is economic development. Is when you think about in agriculture, we have the absolute best of the best in the state of Kentucky. We've increased our genetics in poultry, pork, and cattle like nobody else. We have the absolute best. To give you an example of that, we have a third less cattle, number of head of cattle in the state, in the country right now. A third less cattle in the country, but a third more beef on the shelf. Now think about that. We produce a third more with a third less. Our genetics, our processing, our practices, how we do what we do, our conservation is at the best that it can possibly be in those areas. Same thing with corn, beans, and wheat. Our major commodities that we have in this state, we have focused in on how do we be the best that we can be with those commodities like nobody else. We have programs in this state that really focus on how do we make that way. What we realize is that it's not enough just to have the best if nobody knows about it and you can't get your product out. And so what we've really tried to focus on for the last 11 months is how do we get that end user, that further processing, here in the state of Kentucky to really focus in rural Kentucky on job creation, on investment, and on value add to the community, not only for the farmers, but for the community as a whole. The 4 areas that we focus on every single day is around row crop, infrastructure, research, and development. So when you think about row crops, that's corn, beans, and wheat for the most part. Whenever you look at row crops in the state of Kentucky, I'll give you a success story that I think will blow your mind because it blew my mind. Hopkinsville Elevator down in Christian County is an ethanol plant. They are a $750 million revenue business that employs 168 people. Chris, if that was a regular manufacturing business, they'd have 1,200 people with that kind of revenue employed there. So in agriculture, we don't necessarily create the amount of jobs that manufacturing does, but we have the investment and we have the impact in local communities. They have 4,200 farmers that are a part of this co-op. So they have 168 employees, but 4,200 farmers that sell into that co-op that makes that ethanol, dried distillers grains, and CO2. To give you an example of what I mean about adding that value, that processing value, if they just buy your corn, beans, and wheat, put it on a truck, put it on a trailer, or put it on a truck, put it on a rail, or put it on a barge, they add 5 cents in value to that bushel of corn, just 5 cents. By buying it from you and sending it somewhere else to get processed. If they make it into ethanol, dried distillers grains, or CO2, they're at that factory, they're at that ethanol plant, that processing facility. They add $1 in value to that same bushel of corn. 20 times greater value in processing it there locally for that community and for those farmers and for the general community as a whole in agriculture. And so we can't understate the value of processing in agriculture in rural communities. The amount of investment, the amount of impact that we have is tremendous. What we see looking into the future, with electric vehicles and some of those things coming, I think that we're going to see a decline over time. Whether it succeeds or fails, the attention that's being paid to it, I think over time we're going to see it diminished. But my guess is you are like me, and you're not going to get in an electric airplane anytime soon. And so what we think is going to be the future and what we're looking at, how do we create the right kind of atmosphere for investment in this, is around sustainable aviation fuel. Right now, most of that ethanol down at the Hopkinsville elevator goes into Nashville market for light-duty vehicles, cars, trucks, etc. What we think that we can do in the state of Kentucky is really encourage investment here from companies like BP, Marathon, Amazon, DHL, because we have what it takes to make it happen. We have what no other state has in the Ohio River and the Mississippi. Our infrastructure is second to none when it comes to getting that product in and out. The other thing that we have that not many people realize is we have the 3rd and 12th largest aviation consumers in the world here in Kentucky. UPS in Louisville consumes 7.3 million gallons of aviation fuel every 3 days. Amazon in northern Kentucky lands 50% of their airplanes daily in northern Kentucky. Globally, 50% of their airplanes land daily in northern Kentucky. We are an aviation hub in this state. If you go just down the river a little bit to Memphis, the #1 aviation consumer, FedEx, is located in Memphis. We have something that no other state has with the consumption power. Those companies are saying that if you can figure out how to get it created today, we'll buy everything that you can make. We export 50 and 60% of the corn and beans down the river right now that we produce in the state of Kentucky. We've got the feedstock, we've got the consumption power, we've got to figure out that middle piece of investment to get the refinement there, increasing our ethanol or biodiesel production and getting a SAF facility built in the state. So we're looking at how do we do that, looking for those partners and educating ourselves on exactly what we need. The second thing that we focus on is large-scale animal processing in the state of Kentucky. When you think about processing, a lot of times, that's slaughterhouse for the vernacular. When you think about that processing, we think about what it was 60 years ago. Smelly, dirty, outdated. It's not the case anymore. These processing facilities that we have in the state of Kentucky are second to none now. These are facilities that employ 1,200 people in each one of them. A poultry processing facility like in Albany right now does 1.3 million chickens a week at that facility. And those are all Kentucky and Tennessee chickens. In Henderson, it's all Kentucky, 1.3 million chickens a week that they process in that facility. JBS in Louisville, 1,400 jobs, processes 10,500 hogs a day at that facility. These are large-scale processing, manufacturing jobs that are in agriculture. The value that's added to these products cannot be understated. I'll give you the example about the poultry industry. 20 years ago, in the year 2000, we had 5% of our $3.1 billion of cash receipts in Kentucky. 5% was in poultry. Today, it's 25% of $8.1 billion cash receipts in the state of Kentucky for agriculture. Not only have we increased the percentage of what poultry is, but we've increased the overall dollars in the state of Kentucky because we've had that processing and that focus around this product. We can do that around beef cattle as well. Pulaski County is one of the largest beef cattle counties in the state of Kentucky. We can do that around beef cattle. So what we're focused on is how can we drag attention towards further processing for what we currently have, and then how can we put an emphasis around our beef cattle production to get a processor here in this state so that we don't have to keep sending our cattle 3 hours away, 4 hours away to get fat and to get fed. The third thing that we focus on is around food production network systems, and that's a fancy word for vegetable production. I didn't know what else to call it. It sounded fancy to me, so that's what I called it. But what we're really talking about there is how can we build up our vegetable production in the state of Kentucky to compete on a world-class level of getting the infrastructure in place through cold storage, further processing in rural communities so that our farmers can take advantage of that. One of the ways that we started doing that is what I talked about earlier with our Food is Medicine campaign. Selfishly, for me in agriculture and for the ag community, we're focused on how can we increase our infrastructure around this and get more direct markets into our local communities across the state. And I'll give you an example. Lake Cumberland Regional Hospital, my guess is the largest, if not one of the largest food consumers in Pulaski County. Hospitals in each community that they're in are the largest food consumers on a daily basis in their community. At UK St. Clair's in Moorhead, Donald Lloyd, the president and CEO of that hospital, said that they feed 500,000 meals a year in that hospital. It's the same thing everywhere that we go with each hospital that we see. If we just gathered 20% of that for local production, for local producers, how much of an impact that we could make. So with our Food is Medicine campaign, we're working on 3 different areas with our hospital association. Is how do we get more fresh food inside the cafeterias locally? How do we get more ready to eat in their vending opportunities? And then one that I think is really intriguing, that is really where they're bought in, is around post-patient care, medically tailored boxes. When you think about the state of what our health is in America today, we're looking at how can we do more procedures and medications. That's what gets pushed every single day, everywhere that we go. If you ask these healthcare professionals in front of you, they're going to say they don't want to do that. They want healthy people. They don't want to have to prescribe the medication. They don't want to have to do the surgeries. They want healthy people that are out there to where that you have to come to them whenever it's necessary. But what we see now is that our food system in the world, our food system in Kentucky, is so overprocessed because it's not locally grown. And so how can we help get more fresh local food inside of our people's bodies, of getting them the opportunities to be able to do that, especially with vulnerable populations around Medicaid, Medicare, and SNAP benefits. When you think about the populations that are some of the most unhealthiest in the state, it's in those populations. And the best place that we can get to them the quickest is going to be in our hospitals. And so how can we work through Medicaid to get an in lieu of services or a waiver to be able to pay for some of that with federal dollars that are coming down? Would you rather your tax dollars go to pay for prescription medication over and over again, or try to help in a local community with local farmers getting fresh food to help those same illnesses? To me, it's a no-brainer. When you look at this, you can do medically tailored boxes around diabetes, heart disease, blood pressure, stress, expected mothers, recovery, addiction. There's all kinds of ways that we can do this to try and impact people in a positive way in the community and put money back into farmers' pockets and hiring the profitability that's here in local communities. And so I'm really grateful at the opportunity the Hospital Association has given me. We've talked to the Secretary of Health and Family Services on multiple occasions about how do we expand these opportunities in a meaningful way for our farmers across the state and to get the health outcomes that we need from our people, to get less processed food into our system so that we can really make a difference. If it's up to me, I'd rather them go and get fresh tomatoes and cucumbers and meat than hot dogs and ding-dongs and Pepsi from the gas station. And so we're looking at how can we increase the availability and opportunities to make that an impact as quickly as we possibly can. Outside of those populations, we're looking at how can it be made for all of you all. Maybe those of you that are not on Medicaid and SNAP, how can we do this in a meaningful way with your employers? So we've been talking to folks like Anthem that have 2.2 million insurers in the state of Kentucky to say, can we create a WellCare benefit or a discount for your employers to be able to buy that for their employees themselves? Think about that from a retention and recruitment opportunity for your employees that are in your businesses. And then think about that from a savings standpoint of your employees going to the doctor, getting prescription medication, et cetera. They did a study in North Carolina with 500 diabetics on this same system, these medically tailored boxes, showed that they saved on average a month $123 in healthcare expenses because of doing this. Less doctor visits, less medication, less cost on the system. Taking that burden off, that unnecessary burden. And so we're really excited about the opportunities that we have moving forward with this. And I get really excited. I don't know if you all can tell this. I get pretty excited about this stuff. But this is, to me, a lot of these things are no-brainers whenever you think about it from my perspective and we look at it. The last thing that we focus on is on-farm tourism and on-farm marketing. How can we get you as a consumer more directly connected in to our farming community? And I look at that from 2 different areas. How can we create better tourism opportunities? My guess is if I asked most of you all in here 30 years ago, would you ever have thought of a farm as being a tourism opportunity? No, because you was on the farm. Most of you were on a farm farming 30, 40, 50 years ago. Now, on-farm tourism is one of the biggest ways that farmers can make money and that you can get an experience that you don't get for your kids and for your family. Mr. Haney has an amazing operation out in Nancy. You have Bear Wallow and so many others that are in this county that you all can visit and do. The thing that I love about it is outside the tourism and the profitability is it's an opportunity for education for this next generation. Folks, I'm working with the Lieutenant Governor and the Education Commissioner right now to try and embed ag education in our elementary schools. If we just do it in high school in our ag departments, we've lost them. We've got to get into that first generation, that elementary school education. I look at it like this. I don't know, did you all have a good football team this year? Somerset-Pulaski County, anybody? Pretty good? So it's hard to have, somebody started laughing. I don't know what I'm just teasing. It's hard to have a good high school football team if you don't have a good Little League team, that recruitment of bringing them up. For me, when I look at this, it's hard for us to have educated adults that understand agriculture, where their food comes from, and how to utilize that food if we don't get them in elementary school. And so we're working on what does it look like to have an ag education week in the spring and an ag education week in the fall to really embed in the curriculum, not to overburden teachers. That's not what we're doing. I have an education and outreach director who understands that system, and so we're going to create a lot of opportunities so that you can just make it a click thing. Put in that code, whatever you need, pull out that resource so that you can teach it that week. But this is what I hope it ends up looking like. If you're teaching kindergarten and you're doing math, 1 chicken plus 2 chickens equals 3 chickens. It's pretty simple. You don't have to get too smart with it. But if you're in 5th grade and you're talking volumetrics, maybe we measure grain in a grain bin. Those types of things, embedding it in the curriculum so that they understand there's practical uses for where they are and what they're doing. And then also doing food education to work on this food as medicine as well in the school districts and in the schools. We've got some pretty neat things we're trying to do with it, like ag mystery mascots, you know, rough, bumpy nose, 4-compartment stomach, floppy ears, what am I? A cow. We also have ag mystery careers. You know, I make $80,000 a year. I fly. I use a remote like a video game. You know, what am I? Drone operator. You know, there's things like that we're trying to really grab a hold of them and make it fun and educational so that our next generation of kids really understand what's going on. So we're really focused on how can we improve agriculture and take it to the next level? How can we open up markets? How can we do everything that we possibly can from the Department of Agriculture to add value to our farmers and our rural communities and our urban partners across the country and across the state of Kentucky? And I can't thank you all enough for having me here today to have the opportunity to be your Commissioner of Agriculture. This is the best job in the state of Kentucky. You may think you got a good job in here, but it ain't being Ag Commissioner. I get to see the best of the best every single day in Kentucky. I get to see the best of the best in not just agriculture, but in our young people. And I'll leave you with this, 2 things. One, it's election day. Whether it goes your way or not today, we're going to be frustrated, right? One way or the other, somebody's going to get frustrated. Watching the news, we get frustrated. Scrolling through TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, we get frustrated. My suggestion is turn it off. Go find an opportunity to volunteer at a local FFA or 4-H, and it will change your mind about this generation. A lot of times we think about this generation as, oh, there's something wrong with them. They've done this, they've done that. Well, folks, these kids aren't born knowing anything. Everybody starts back at ABC 1, 2, 3. It's us that's changed. And we've got to get back to pouring back into these kids the right way, educating them in local communities, and getting back to them. That's my encouragement for today. We can change this one child at a time. And in saying that, I'd like to close with this. I'm on the board of directors for the Lexington CASA of Lexington. And I've got 2 adoptive children. One of my children's here today, Jackson. He's my oldest and ugliest son wherever he went. But I've got 2 adoptive children, and I'm on the CASA board of Lexington. And that is court-appointed special advocates. So if you're in the court system, and Judge Venters is here, if you're in the court system, what this is this is the worst of the worst cases. These are the cases: sexual abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, neglect. These are the worst of the worst cases. There's 2 things that I'd ask you all to do and to really consider doing. You all have got a great CASA here that's trying to build back, that's trying to really build up. And there's 2 things that you can do to make a difference for them. My guess is Pulaski County is like the rest of the counties in this region, is that we have a high neglect and abuse case rate in Pulaski County, if not the highest maybe in this area. I would encourage you that if you're in this room today to really dig down deep and consider volunteering for CASA here in Somerset-Pulaski County. And the reason I say that is you don't have to be a superstar. You don't have to be a rock star. You don't have to be something special. You just need to be there for these kids. If you think I'm not good enough, I don't know what to say, what if I mess them up? That ain't the case. They've got caseworkers. They've got volunteer managers that'll get you everything that you need. The only thing you've got to do is say yes. Everything else will fall into place. The burden of it is 30 training hours in the very beginning. Outside of that, you meet with the child once a month. But this is the kind of difference you can make in that child's life. Maybe they need glasses, and nobody cared enough to find out that they need glasses. Maybe they're an F student right now, but because you've been with them once a month for 3 months, you find out that, hey, you know what, this kid needs glasses. We've had that scenario in Lexington. The kid's making straight A's now because a CASA volunteer cared enough to really pay attention. There's some more extreme situations where you may find more abuse, more neglect, more sexual abuse, things like that. Don't think of it as a burden on you emotionally or you physically or your time. Think about the difference that you can make in that child's life. If you're not willing to think about being a volunteer, I would encourage you to get out your checkbook and write a donation to them so that they can go get the volunteers that they need. But with that, I thank you all so much. I love Pulaski County. I love being here with you all. I can't thank you enough for what you mean, not just to this region, but to the state of Kentucky and what you've meant to me over the years. Thank you all so much.
Jonathan, I would like to present you with a Friend of the Chamber certificate. Next, we'll have our door prizes. So if you will be searching for your ticket. While you're getting your tickets, I would like to share with you our future leaders had an agriculture day, and we had a survey over where we've been so far. And TJ Atkins, we went to his farm, and it was at the top of the list. So they really enjoyed going out to the farm and seeing what all TJ had going on. Our first door prize is for 20 free personalized notepads from M&W Printing. And that ticket is 689074. Our next door prize is a $20 RB Dry Cleaner certificate from RB Dry Cleaners. That is 689015. Right here in the front. From Buffalo Wings and Rings, we have a gift card for $25. That goes to 579070. In the back. Back table. Our next gift card is from Hardy South, a $20 gift card, and that goes to 689087. Okay, from Lake Cumberland Regional Hospital, we have a pink Stanley mug and pink pickleball set. That is 689010. In the back. From 5 Star Land Title, we have a holiday kitchen gift set. That is 689030. Our last giveaway is from the Center for Rural Development. It is 2 tickets to Magic School Bus Performance. That is 689112. 689112. I hear the name. Oh, over here. Okay. I want to remind you that our next luncheon is the holiday auction, and it is Tuesday, December the 3rd. I want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving, and at this time, I would like to ask Paul Merrick to come and do our Pledge of Allegiance.